Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Kelsey, and I am the Professional Development Coordinator for BirdBrain Technologies. So that means that I get to usually travel around the country and teach teachers coding and robotics, but nobody's doing too much traveling right now. So what we're doing instead is we're teaching via Zoom. So I'm really glad you guys are here. To the friends who are here on Zoom and to those of you tuning in live on Facebook, which reminds me, I should introduce my co-teacher, Matt. Hey, Matt, how's it going?
Hey, Kelsey. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. I'm excited to answer some of the questions that will be coming in from Facebook.
That's right. So we have quite a few participants with us here on Zoom today, and there are even a couple more coming in. But if you are watching live on Facebook, you can also participate. If you put a comment on the Facebook video, Matt is watching that live, and so he can translate that for us and let us know what you are saying out there. So let me tell you what our project is going to be today, what we're going to be doing together. I'll switch this around a little bit. We are going to be looking at mechanisms today, and I'll turn this one on so you can see this project. We call it the anglerfish because it's a fish, but then it's a type of fish called an anglerfish where the light on an anglerfish lights up. And what happens when I pet my anglerfish, well, let's see what should happen, is it's got a couple of mechanisms. There we go. So it's got a couple of mechanisms. It's got a winch mechanism, which is a toilet paper tube that's being turned by this motor over here. It's got a winch mechanism that is blinking the eyes. And then it's also got a crank mechanism so that when I pet it, the mouth opens and closes with a little paper clip down there, and the light starts turning in and off, and the eyes turn into angry eyes like that. So for those of you participating here on Zoom, or for those of you watching at home, you can absolutely build something like this. And I want to show you a link that you can go to where you'll find lots of great building resources. This is a bit.ly link, and I'm going to put this up a bunch of times throughout the day, but if you want to build mechanisms like the fish, like the eyes, like the mouth, or like any of the other mechanisms you're going to see today, you can find resources for how to do that if you go to this bit.ly link. And remember, capital letters matter on a bit.ly link. So you're going to see that link lots of times today. But now you know what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about mechanisms, and we're even going to get to play some games live here on Zoom with some mechanisms. But before we do that, I want to see who all is here in Zoom. So everybody who's here on Zoom, do you want to wave hello? Hello. And I know before we started, some of you folks told me some board games and video games that you guys like to play. So I'll be coming back to you with some of that. But before we do, I want to get you guys signed on to Microbit Classroom. So if you are with us here on Zoom, and we're going to reserve this just for the folks here on Zoom today because we don't want to overload the classroom, I want you to join this Microbit Classroom right here. So you'll go to this URL right here. So you'll type that up in your browser somewhere, microbit.org/join. And then you'll put in all of the classroom details. So when it asks you for a color, you'll put purple. When it asks you for an animal, you'll put cat, etc. So you'll fill in all that information. You'll give yourself a name, a school-appropriate name, hopefully just your first name, and then you'll be part of our classroom. And for you folks here on Zoom, we have also copied all of this information and put it in the chat over on the side. So even when we go away from this screen, you have that information in the chat so you can type it in. So if you want to participate fully, especially with this first part, you should join our classroom. And I can see who's joined down here. So Aria and Connor and Justin and Sophie and Connor have joined our classroom. So as more people join, we'll see them there. And while they are, just since Aria, since it looks like maybe you were the last person to sign in, you were telling us about some games that you like to play. What are some games that you like to play, Aria?
Splendor, Camera, Othello.
So what are they?
They're board games.
They're board games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to play Othello too. That one has little like round pieces on it, doesn't it? Is that part of that game? Yeah, that's great. Well, I'm glad that you've got a couple games that you like to play. Does anybody here, I know there were a few people that liked to play online games too. Kat, you said that you really like to play an online game. Do you want to unmute and tell us what the online game is that you like to play? What's it called?
Code Spark.
Yeah, Code Spark. I've never played that before, but I'll have to check it out. You said that you like to make characters and make games and stuff on there. That sounds really cool. We look at there. We've got a few more students joining in our Microbit classroom. Let me tell you guys what you're going to be doing once you join the Microbit classroom. So what I've done here is I have built a code that works on this fish. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you guys that code, the code that works on this fish. But then you guys can change anything about it that you want. All right. So let me show you the code that I built for the fish right now. And then you guys can figure out how you might want to change it. All right. So I'm going to go, let's see, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to keep that here so you can see it. And then I'm going to go to my super secret student incognito tab here. There we go. Oh no, that's not the one. Here it is in the editor. So this is the code that I built for this fish that works. So I'm just going to zoom in on part of it so that you can see what it's doing. So the light sensor is triggering some of it. When the light sensor senses that it's less than 15% brightness, so that means when I cover it up, then it does some things. I'm going to turn it back on so you can see that, what it actually does. So when the light sensor senses that it's less than 15% brightness, this is controlling the position servo 1, which is the mouth down here. So when I cover it up, that's when the mouth starts biting, and that's when this LED starts turning on as well. Can you guys see it? If I shine it at the camera, you can see it shining. So we've got the LED turning on and off, and we've got the, oh, I should actually fix something about this code. There we go. Now the LED will blink on and off like I want it to. If I downloaded it, it would. All right, so what the mouth is opening and closing, and the LED is blinking on and off. Otherwise, the mouth is just closed. It's staying at just 30% or 30 degrees. But also over here, the light sensor is also controlling not just the mouth, but also the eyes. So when the light sensor is less than 15%, the eyes turn to angry eyes. So it turns to 130 degrees. That's angry eyes. Otherwise, it is just, I'm seeing bits of my code that are messy. Oh, actually, I wanted that. That's okay. I'll put it back in there. So it'll go to angry eyes, and it'll stay at angry eyes for a couple of seconds here. For like two seconds. When I cover it up, it'll stay at angry eyes for a couple seconds. And then other than that, the eyes are blinking. So I think 15 degrees is blinking and 60 degrees is not blinking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this code with all the students who are here. So everybody who's signed in so far, I'm going to share this starting code with you guys. Starting code, I'm going to share it with not me, but everybody else. Okay, so everybody who was signed into our Microbit classroom, you guys now have this fish code here. And just to review, there's motor number 1 that you can mess with. There's motor number 2 that you can mess with. And there's an LED that you can mess with. You can also mess with the light sensor values if you want to. Totally all right. But that'll change some weird things about the code. But as you guys edit it, you guys can all be working on this at the same time. And as you edit that code, let me know. You can raise your hand like this and say, hey, I've got something I want to put on the fish. And when you have something ready, let me know, and I will download it and put it on the fish so that you guys can make the fish behave differently if you want. Make the mouth do different things. And you can put any numbers in there you want. Nothing, I tested it, nothing you can put in there will break the fish, all right? So that is something that you guys can be working on and coding right now. And while you do, I want to investigate how this mechanism, this fish, these different mechanisms are made. And remember, if you are at home and want to check out some of these mechanisms yourself, you can go to this build page here, bit.ly/build page. And let me pull that up. Let me show you where to find that on our website. So I'm going to do that, bit.ly/build page, like that. And that takes us to the Hummingbird build page. Looks like this. So now you can see there are some basic mechanisms on here. We're using the crank mechanism and the winch mechanism. So if I look at the crank, this is the mouth of our fish. So you can see that there's a motor in there, and the motor is making the mouth go up and down. Let's investigate that on our fish here. So if I'm going to shut the fish off so that it doesn't bite me. And we'll open it up and look inside. And I'm going to refocus my camera a little bit so that it's not so blurry. There we go. Great. So if I open the mouth up a little bit, we can see how this looks inside. So this is a motor that we glued down on the inside of the mouth. And then this is just a paper clip. We hooked through right there. And we've got this part, we've got it like pinched in place with a little bit of glue here. And then as the motor turns up like this, as the motor goes up, it pulls the mouth closed. And as the motor pushes out, it pushes the mouth open. So this crank mechanism is super cool, and it makes really awesome opening and closing mouths on projects. So if you are at home and you have a Hummingbird, you'll need a position servo motor, a box with a flap, and a paper clip, and you can make your very own crank mouth. And I want to show you that this is a real step-by-step tutorial here. So I can like click on the different steps. It tells you here's all the supplies you're going to need to build a crank mechanism. And then it shows you step-by-step like, hey, first things first, probably should put your box together so that it's a box, not just a flat thing. So step-by-step, we go through how to make a mechanism like this. So let's see, I want to check in with our folks on Zoom. Let's go to gallery view for a moment. First things first, did anybody have any trouble getting onto Microbit Classroom? Is anybody lost in the woods? Like, hey, I'd really like to join, but I can't. Raise your hand if you haven't gotten onto Microbit Classroom, but you'd like to. Are you having troubles, Aria? Tell what's your troubles?
It's just like the code is not downloading. It just keeps up.
It won't download onto my robot until I download it. So what we're gonna do is when you've got code that's finished, I'm gonna download it onto my fish here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. But you know, the code isn't showing up on our iPad.
It's just, is it just like loading like this?
That's correct. Yes, it's just loading. So we are wondering what to do.
Okay, let's see. So I'm seeing that you guys are here, and if I look at like student code, if I look at Arya's code here, and I'm gonna go here, it shows that you guys have a code coming up. But here's what I'll do. I'm just gonna share it with you again. I'm gonna see if that works. All right. So I'm gonna share my from here. So I'm gonna share it with students, but not with everybody, just with Arya. Oh, are you using an iPad? You said? Arya and Shita? Did you guys say you were using an iPad to code? Yeah, and you can unmute yourselves. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I've used Microbit Classroom on an iPad before, and it has worked, but I haven't tested it very much on an iPad. So that may be some of the trouble. That may be where some of the issues coming in. I'm gonna send that code to you again, and we'll try that out. And then if it's still not working, are you guys watching us on a laptop or a Chromebook or something?
Yes. So we are watching you on a Mac.
Okay.
We were trying to code on iPad.
Yeah. If that still isn't working, you can just join the Microbit Classroom from your Mac, and you can like resize your screens a little bit so you can see Zoom in one part of your screen and you can see Microbit Classroom in the
other. Right, that's what we'll do then. Okay.
Okay,
Let's move to.
Anybody else having troubles getting onto Microbit Classroom before I download some code onto this her fish? Anybody else having troubles? Okay, cool. All right. Elise and Kat said that they were having trouble getting it to load on an iPad too, so that may be something that we'll have to investigate to see how Microbit Classroom works on iPads. So looks like a couple people had code they wanted to try out on the fish though. Who's got a code they want to try out on the fish? Raise your hand. Looks like Connor and Sophia do. All right, Connor and Sophia, let's make this fish weird. So here's where Matt's going to help me out a little bit and do some things behind the scenes. So Matt is going to share. What he's going to do is he's going to share your code that you built, Connor and Sophia. He's going to share your code with Kelsey, the student. I'm signed in on like an incognito tab for you teachers who are wondering how this is working. So if we go to Microbit Classroom and we go to the student code, and I'll kind of talk us through what's happening here up at the top. I'll help out.
There it is. Thank you.
So if we go to student code, we're going to find Sophie and Connor. There we go. And we're going to share this code with students, but we're not going to share it with all the students. We're just going to share it with me, Kelsey, the student, because it would replace everybody else's code. You guys are working on stuff. I don't want to replace your code. We're just going to share it with Kelsey, the student, and then we'll send it. And once we do that, when we go to our incognito tab, our secret tab, that's where it says, hey, your teacher shared some code with you. We're going to use it. Cool. So now we can actually see it too. We can see what they did. Let's download it, and then let's talk through it and figure out in what ways you guys messed with this here fish. All right, it's downloading now. Looks like you guys changed one thing that I see. I'm just going to work from the top and look my way down. Connor and Sophia, you guys want to talk us through what you changed? You want to unmute yourselves?
Sophia just wanted to do something, so I'll talk us through it. So I kind of wanted to just change everything, just make it like totally different. So,
Perfect.
So I started off by changing the darkness by once it gets less than 30%.
Yeah.
It will move, and then I made the position turbos go in a lot of different directions.
Yeah, I see that. Just thinking through that, the very first thing you changed that in the order of the code is that you changed that number from 15 to 30. And why I'm standing over here like this is that when I stand right behind the fish, my shadow falls over the light sensor here, and it's triggering it because it's got a higher threshold. So it's like, if it's less than 30, then try to bite me. And so I have to like get out of the light there to be able to let it not bite. But I really like the angles. If I pet it here, it's really biting big, which is cool. And it looks like you changed the amount of time it stays at each angle too. You changed it from 200 milliseconds to 500, so it's going a little slower, which is cool. Mm-hmm. And then otherwise, it's staying at 180 degrees, which is all the way open. So when we're not triggering the light sensor, it's just staying open all the way to 180 degrees, which is cool. And then the light's still blinking. Cool. And then talk us through this eye part here. You changed the threshold there to 32, which is great. What are the eyes doing?
So I guess the eye. So if it's less than 30 degrees, if it's less than 30, then you have to. Then it's just gonna go 20 degrees.
That is 20. That's 20 degrees right there. So the eyes being like mostly closed.
Like you're about to fall asleep.
Yeah, sleepy fish. We'll call that sleepy fish. Otherwise, it's like halfway transitioning from regular eyes to like angry eyes. Nice. Well, let's go to gallery view really quick. Nice job, Connor and Sophia. That's pretty cool. Who else wants to try their code out? Did anybody else build code? Did you, Henry? Did you build some code you want us to try?
Can I tell you how my code works?
Yeah. Let's download Henry's code onto here. I'm gonna pause it for a second.
I didn't do anything yet.
Oh, you haven't done anything yet. Well, once you do something, and you guys can be working on this throughout the session today. So even if we don't get to your code right away, if you want to keep working on it, anybody who wants to put some code on the fish can today. So you start editing it, Henry, and we will try it out. How about Tate and Oliver? Do you guys have a code for the fish that you want to put on there?
Yes.
All right, let's check it out. So we're gonna do just like we did. We're gonna spotlight us here so you can see what we're doing. And we'll go to the Microbit Classroom page. There we go. We're gonna look at Tate and Oliver's. Cool. And we're gonna share their code with Kelsey the student, where I'm signed in secret. So we can like select just me. There we go. So we're gonna share their code with me. And then when we go back to the incognito tab, hey, my teacher sent me some code. There it is. And let's download it, and then you can talk us through what it's doing. All right, and I'll turn the battery pack back on. All right, Oliver and Tate, I'm ready for it to get weird.
We just added some random stuff in. We didn't really know what we were putting in.
You hear it? So which block that you're doing do you think made that sound? And then it stopped. Which block do you think made that sound?
A middle C for 4 beats.
Yeah. So it did it for 4 beats, and then it repeated that middle C. Do, do, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. It repeated that 4 times, and then it stopped. Why did it stop?
It's only supposed to go 4 beats.
Yeah, it's only supposed to go 4 times, and it's in that on start loop there. So the on start loop says that it's only going to do that once, right when it starts up, and then it won't do it again. Mm-hmm. If you wanted it to do that forever, you could put it in a forever loop. But if you just want it to do that one time, let me show you. I'm going to take all the power away from it, turn it off, and then turn it back on, and it'll do it again, right when it starts up one time. Bring my microphone close so you can hear it. Do you hear that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it'll do that just one time when it starts, which is cool. You could play Happy Birthday. You could play Baby Shark, whatever you wanted to play one time right when it starts, you could do. So what else did you guys change about the code? What else did you add?
We worked on the tri-lights, the tri-LED lights.
Yeah. You added a tri-LED block. We don't have a tri-LED plugged into this robot, though. Let me show you. We could have. It would kind of be pretty dope to add one sometime. But again, I'll refocus here so you can see it a little bit better. Oop, let's go back that way. Mm-hmm. So this is where the tricolor LEDs would be plugged in, here or here. And we just don't have any plugged in. We only have one single color LED plugged in. So that's why that block isn't really doing anything, just because we don't have the thing. But if you put a tri-LED in there, it certainly would work. So okay. What else did you change?
That was all, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah? So yeah, other than that, it looks like it's still just kind of blinking. And then when we cover this up, it bites, it glows, and it turns angry. But I really appreciated you guys adding the sound block in there and on start, because that was a cool way to learn what those things do. That's cool. All right, so let's go back to gallery view. Let me check in with everybody. Is anybody having trouble? Is anybody kind of like lost and wants to just kind of get started here? Henry, you mentioned in the chat that you weren't sure where to start here. Can I help you troubleshoot a little bit and help you figure out where to get started, Henry? Do you want to unmute? There you go. We can hear you now. Do you want some help getting started?
I did a little bit.
You did a little bit. Okay. All right. Well, you keep working. That's great. It looked like Xander and Penelope, did you guys have some code that you guys wanted to try? Do you want to unmute? You can unmute yourselves and then we can hear you. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Well, let's go into Microbit Classroom. We'll go to speaker view here so you can see it. And we're going to share Xander and Penelope's code with Kelsey, the student. This will be the last one we'll do for now. But again, anybody who has a code for the fish that they want to try, we're going to let you try it, okay? Because you can kind of do this as we go today. But we're going to transition after this one. We're going to transition to looking at another winch mechanism game. Ooh, I see some different colored blocks in there. I'm excited. What's it going to do? Oh, I'm not plugged in, Matt. Sorry. I'll plug in, and then we can download. Because downloading only works when the microbit's plugged in, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So Xander and Penelope, can you guys talk us through what you did to the fish? Let's see it work first. Okay, it just downloaded. Let's hear it. It's doing all kinds of crazy things. What if I do this? Oh, that kind of calms it down. This is its chill face at this point. So, let's figure out what you guys changed. What did you add in there? So you didn't change the light sensor threshold at all, but we added in, oh, look at that. Tell me about that a little bit. Where'd you find that, first of all, that purple one? Where'd you find that block?
In math.
Yeah, in math. So if we look in math, it's in there, and there's a bunch of cool purple blocks in there. So there's that pick random block that they added in. So they picked random between 100 and 600 milliseconds. Cool. And that's, see how when it's opening its mouth, it's doing it kind of randomly?
I can't see it.
Here, I'll lift it up a little bit. So when it's, I'll uncover it a minute. Get it to freak out again. There we go. All right, and then I'll cover it back up. So we're looking at the mouth and how the mouth is moving. And it's waiting either like 100 milliseconds, so 1/10 of a second, or like 200 milliseconds, so 2/10 of a second, all the way up to 600 milliseconds, 6/10 of a second. So it's not waiting for very long, but it's picking randomly how long it's going to wait to move its mouth. You see how it's moving randomly, Xander?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what that random block is doing, which is cool. You also added this start melody block for when it's uncovered. Let me show you how that sounds. Can you hear it?
No. I can't hear it.
Right up to my microphone.
I don't hear it.
Like
It's
buzzing.
really quiet. It's going do 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 do. It's very funky. I'm like ready to get down with it. Get down with myself. So it's doing that. It's playing that funk melody when we're not covering it, which is pretty cool. That's great. He's really I think that's so funny too, that the Hummingbird position servo, the reason its mouth is moving like that is because of that other random block you have in there. You have it just picking a random angle between 0 and 60 degrees. So it's this is 0 degrees, this is 180 degrees. So it's going like this. That's why its mouth is moving like that. That's funny.
Where do you put it
Great.
up to hear it?
So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to unplug this guy and turn him off for now, just because he's a little bit loud. I don't know if he was loud for you guys. He's a little loud for me, because I want to take a look at another thing you can do with mechanisms. But like I said, if you guys have a code that you want to put on the fish at any time today, you can. So that was one way we were using Microbit Classroom, but we're going to use a different way to play. Now we're going to play this super rad spider game. Okay, so we made this super rad game. It's called Wheel of Bugs. And you have to say it like that. So if at any time you guys want to play the game, you have to say, hey, Kelsey, can I play Wheel of Bugs? Can we go to gallery view? Give me a thumbs up if you're down to say. I think we should all say it together. We're going to unmute everybody, and we're all going to say Wheel of Bugs together. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Wheel of Bugs!
Perfect. That was perfectly in tune, everyone. I loved it. We're going to record that, and we're all going to be pop stars. So that was perfect. So if we take a look, if we zoom in a little bit on Wheel of Bugs, we can take a look at it here and see how it works. It's got a winch mechanism up here. My winch mechanism, there we go. It's on all the way. So this is a winch mechanism. This thing is going to turn. And as it turns, somebody unmute yourselves and tell me what's happening as this winch mechanism turns. What's happening? Anybody, just unmute yourself.
The spider's going down.
Exactly, the spider's going down.
You roll the thread on there. When you roll it, the thread pulls down and makes the spider pull down with it.
You are exactly right. So as this winch mechanism turns, it's letting the spider go down or come up, because the goal here is to catch bugs. So these little bugs right here, and I'm going to bring it really close in here. This little bug right here has a magnet inside of it. And so the spider's goal is to catch a bug like that with its little metal front feet. All right. So I'm going to fix all my bugs here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. These bugs are very attracted to one another. These bugs are just like, man, you guys are the prettiest bugs I've ever seen. We got to keep them separate so they don't do that. So Matt, will you play this game for him once and show him kind of the goal of the game?
Absolutely.
All right. So the way this game works is the bottom thing has to spin. There we go. So this bottom part spins with the bugs on it. It's kind of a bug platter. And then the spider has to catch a bug. Oh, how many bugs? Oh, it caught 3 bugs, I think. Yeah, look at there. So the spider caught 3 bugs. And then you can go back up the web a little bit. But you want to make sure not to go too far up because the bug can get caught up here, okay? So you're going to use your arrow keys, the up arrow key. Here, I'll scooch it this way a little bit so I can still talk to you. There we go. You're going to use like the up arrow key and the down arrow key to get the spider to either go down towards the bugs or up away from the bugs. So this is our first game today, right? You guys can keep working on the anglerfish if you want, but just one person at a time is going to be able to play this game. We're going to give you remote control of Matt the Robot's computer because Matt the Robot's computer is what's controlling this game here. So if we go to gallery view, who wants to play the spider game? Raise your hand if you'd like to play. How about Justin? Justin hasn't gotten to do anything yet. How about you, Justin? I'm going to reset our bugs down here. And Matt is going to work on giving you remote control of his computer. All right. Got to carefully place the bugs. There we go. So that they're catchable, but not so close that they catch each other. Oops. That looks pretty good. Let's see. They all going in the right spot there. There we go. Okay. So, good, and I'm spotlit.
You are spotlit. How do you allow me to share screen? Can you do that?
Oh, yeah. I had turned off sharing screen capabilities. There it is.
Beautiful.
For safety's sake, I had turned off share screen. But now Matt is going to share his screen with everybody so that you can see it. Oh, did you have a question, Henry, while we set this up? You can go ahead and ask your question.
Finished.
Oh, good. Well, we will, after we get Justin set up on our bug game here, we will get your code put on the fish.
I have very bad news. Justin, are you on a Chromebook?
Justin, are you joining us from a Chromebook today? Can you hear us, Justin?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you on a Chromebook or a laptop?
Yes.
Say it one more time, you cut out.
Yes.
You're on a Chromebook?
Chromebook.
Yeah. This is a weird thing that we don't know why it is this way on Zoom.
Chromebook.
Yeah, thank you. Unfortunately, Zoom, when we try to give remote control to somebody, Zoom doesn't recognize Chromebooks, so you won't be able to play the games today from a Chromebook. We're not sure why that's true, but it is. So it's just got to be folks with laptops. Sorry about that, Justin. How about Sarah? You said that you were interested in playing the game too. Are you on a laptop, Sarah? Yeah? Okay. So we're going to do it again. We're going to, Matt's going to share his screen, and then he's going to give you remote control, Sarah. And when he does, all you have to do is click your mouse on the screen, and then you should be able to have remote control. I'm going to take, there you go. I'm going to take the mouse, Matt.
Oh.
There you go. You got it, Sarah. Okay, so now when you click around, you should be able to use your arrow keys to control the spider going up and down. Oh, there you go. Let's see. Can she catch a bug? You're going further down. You're just laying on the platter now. I think you got one. Yeah, keep coming up. You got 3. Look at there. 1, 2, 3. Nice job, Sarah. Very nice job. That is some. Bring it all the way back up into your web there, Sarah. You earned a nice meal. That's great. Good job, Sarah. If we go back to gallery view, I'm gonna take these guys off. Nice job. That was pretty great. I'll reset our bugs on the bottom here. Anybody else want to raise your hand and
Nope.
let us know
want
to play the game?
Controls.
Say again?
Could you make WASD controls for
You
it?
totally could. You totally could make WAC controls. How about Tate and Oliver? Did you guys want to try too?
I mean, you could do it. I know how to do it. Like, you could duplicate the blocks that you have and set them to all of them to WASD.
You totally could. Was that Connor saying that?
Yes.
Yeah, that is exactly how you would do it, Connor. Yeah. All right, so Matt's going to do it now for Tate and Oliver. He's going to share his screen. And once we get Tate and Oliver going, I'm going to put Henry's code. I'm going to work in the background and put Henry's code on the fish. So after Tate and Oliver have captured all the bugs, then we'll look at Henry's fish. All right, Matt's sharing his screen. And then he's going to give you control, Tate and Oliver. And once you have control, just click on the screen anywhere. And then you'll be able to control the spider going up and down with your arrow keys.
Elsie,
Yeah.
you know I already did this with you once, right?
I know. You hung out with us last week. Okay. Oh, hold on. We got to get there we go. We got the bugs going. How many bugs can you collect? Whoa. They're flocking to you. That's pretty good. Did you get all 4 bugs? What? Tate and Oliver, all 4 bugs. All 4 bugs. That is awesome. You got 3 of them on one leg over here. That's great. That's awesome, Tate and Oliver. All 4 bugs. All 4 bugs. So I wonder, Tate and Oliver, and Sarah, could you guys unmute? And could you guys give some advice to the next person who's about to play? Whoa. Give some advice to the next person who's about to play. What was your strategy when you were playing this game?
My strategy was just to go down and just lay on it until I got the bugs.
Nice. That's a good strategy. How about you, Sarah? Did you have a strategy you want to share?
No.
No. Like I'm naturally good. It's fine. Don't worry about it, kids. You can be as good as Sarah one day. It's cool. All right. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go back to speaker view here, and I'm going to download Henry's code onto the fish. And we, just looking at time, this was probably all the time we have for our spider game today. We have another game to play, though. So this one, you might see this one back some other time. But we're going to, while I download Henry's code onto my fish over here, we're going to get set for another game using other mechanisms. So bye, spider game. See you in a little while. I'm going to go down there on the floor, and I'm going to bring her fish back over here. There's our fish. And I'm going to download Henry's code onto the board. Okay. And are you doing that, Matt? No, you're doing something else. Okay. So I'm going to go to Henry's code. Here we go. Whoa. There's a bunch of music in this one. I'm so excited what it's going to sound like. Okay. So I'm going to share it with just me, not anybody else. Do-do-do. Great. Okay. So I'm going to share that with me. Done. I'm going to bring up my tab over here. Cool. And now I'm going to download it, Henry. I'm so excited for what it's going to be. I'll bring the fish back on screen here so we can see it. Here we are. Okay. I'm going to save it. Are you nervous? I'm nervous.
I know.
Okay. Takes about 5 seconds to download. Got a smiley face. Here it goes.
I can't really hear it.
It's like it was kind of rocking out all on the on start there. I'll bring it closer. I'll turn it off and turn it back on so you can hear it better. My microphone's up here, so I'm going to put it right next to the microphone so that you can hear it. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Go.
Oh, and then it bit me. That's pretty great, Henry. That was pretty great. So let's zoom in on this code here and look at this song you made. This is a great song. I was saying we were going to be pop divas. Henry, you can be our producer. You can be our like, you're gonna be famous. This is great. Do 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 do. It's stuck in my head now. That's the song of the day. Thanks, Henry. Did you change anything else about the code? Let's take a look. Looks like
I
for the
used the coding related website.
who is that talking? Is that Connor?
Yes.
Cool. You use a coding website too?
Website called Scratch.
You've used Scratch? I've used Scratch too. I like Scratch a lot. How about if we go to gallery view, who here has used Scratch before? Wave your hand if you've used Scratch before for coding. Yeah, me too. That's great. Awesome.
Only Scratch Junior.
You use Scratch Junior? I just started Scratch Junior. I just used it for the first time a couple weeks ago. It's really cool. It's a great way to introduce coding. If we look at the code that Henry built here, it looks like now instead of the fish waiting with its mouth closed, it's waiting with its mouth at 180 degrees, which is open, which is actually, funny enough, Henry, exactly what anglerfishes do. They don't wait around like this. They wait around like this. Like they wait around waiting for a fish to swim into their mouth, and then they close it. So
The light
Henry,
attracts the fish.
you made a better anglerfish than you coded a better anglerfish because this is how it actually works.
Also, the light attracts the fish.
Yeah, the light is on sometimes now, attracting fish. How did you turn that light on? How is that light turning on? Let's see if we can look at that code.
I don't really know like what everything does, so I just played around with everything.
Yeah, that's a legit strategy. That's how I do robots sometimes too. I'm not sure what it'll do, but let's try it out. It looks like the light is turning on when I cover it up here. Yeah. So it's turning on and then it's going off when I cover it up. Otherwise, if I put it in the bright light, and again, I'm stepping out my shadow out of the way, then it's off.
Also, that's what anglerfish do because they're deep under the sea with no light.
You're right. They use that light to lure little fishes into their mouths so that they can snap them and grab them.
Yummy.
So that was really good. Let's give a round of applause for Henry. If anyone would like a round of applause, very nice. All right, I'm going to set my fish off to the side because we have another game to play using another mechanism. And just to remind everybody, all the mechanisms that we've looked at so far, you can find on this site here. So the winch mechanism for the spider or for the fish, the crank mechanism for the mouth, or I'm really excited to show you guys this part. Ready? Drum roll. Look at this game. So this is
this
Scorpion.
one too.
Yeah, you played this one with us too, Henry. This Scorpion game here is using a bunch of cable mechanisms. And the thing you can't see is, there he is. There's a little bug, and it's a little rover here. And this little bug has to get through this scorpion death trap. Okay? And the scorpions are going to try and sting it. And they're going to try and grab it with their claws. And you, intrepid little bug, I don't know if you guys know the word intrepid. It means like brave. Brave little bug. You got to try and get all the way from one side to the other. So just like before, and I'm going to go over here so you can see my hands too. Just like before, you're going to use the arrow keys, but now you can use the up and down arrow keys. Up is going to take you forward, down is going to take you back, so it's sort of like the orientation of the bug, all right? And you can also turn left and turn right. So left arrow key, right arrow key, forward, which is up and down. So up, down, left, right. Ah, oh no. So we're going to start you back at the starting line here. And we're going to have, we're going to go to gallery view, but Kat, do you want to be the first one to play our Scorpion game today since you didn't get to before? Yeah? Thumbs up if you're ready, Kat. Yeah. Do you guys want to unmute yourselves so that we can talk you through it? Perfect. All right.
I want to play.
And we'll probably have time for at least one other person to play. And if you don't get a play on during our live stream, we can stick around for a little while afterwards too. Okay. So Matt's sharing his screen. Great. And then he's going to, I'll fix that once you're done.
Okay.
Give remote control to Who is it? Kat.
Kat and Elise. And I'm
Uh-huh.
waiting for Kat and Elise to click on their screen.
Yep, you'll just use your mouse to
Hey,
click
looks like
on your
they've
screen.
got
There
it.
you go. Now you can use your up arrow key, down arrow key, right and left to control. There we go. It's going by. Is it going to make it? Go, go, go. We believe in you. Watch out for the claw. Ah!
Go left or right.
Back up, back up.
Yeah.
There you go, there you go. Now you got it. Stay clear of that tail.
One of these.
Whoa.
Okay.
Wait for it. Go, 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 go. You got it. Oh man, you went right around that claw. Keep going, keep going. You're going to the side. Don't forget the finish line's over there. You did it. You crossed the finish line. Nice job. Nice job, Elise and Kat. Yeah, 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 yeah. So what Matt's going to do is he's going to stop sharing his screen. And who was the person who said they wanted to play as well? Who was that voice?
I think that might have been Connor.
Oh, Connor, do you want to play too?
Yes.
Ah, all right,
I
Connor.
also want to play again too.
Okay, we can do that, Henry. We'll do Connor, and then we'll probably end our live stream right after Connor is done playing. But then if anybody else wants to play before you go today, if you can stick around a little after class, you can play too. So, all right, Connor. Matt just gave you remote control.
So you need to click your screen once, Connor.
Yep, use your mouse and click on your screen, and then you'll have remote control.
And you've got it.
All right,
ahead,
use
hit
those
the-
arrow keys. We believe in you.
So you could use the up, down, left, right arrow
There you
keys.
go.
There you go.
You're facing the wrong way, but that's all right. You're learning the controls. Taking it for a spin. We like it.
Confusing.
Yeah, remember, up is forward for the bug, right? So think about it from the bug's perspective.
This is method acting.
Yeah, method acting is that. Watch out for that claw, man. Go, 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 go. Get out of there. Get out of there. Oh, no. You're staying right where you are. Ah! Trapped like that. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, you made it. Good job, Connor. You're making it. Right over that finish line. Yeah! Woo! Nice job, Connor. You did it. That is great. Oh my gosh, you guys, this was so great. I'm so proud of all of you for coding our fish using Microbit Classroom, coding our different mechanisms using the remote control feature of Zoom, and I'm just so impressed with everything you guys were able to do today. This is really cool. If anybody else out there wants to join our classes, we would love to have you. You can see all of our upcoming live classes at this site, birdbraintechnologies.com/robotics@home. And if you have any questions about anything, you can always email us, info@birdbraintechnologies.com. There's a lot of other things on this site here too. There's a way for you as a teacher to do remote coding in your classroom. If you have a Hummingbird at home and you want your students who are probably also at home to be able to code it, there's a tutorial on there to teach you how to do it. So you should definitely check that out. There are also some really cool project outlines. And there's a way, if you at home want to buy a Hummingbird to just have for yourself to use, you certainly can. Actually, can we go to gallery view really quick? I know there are a number of people here. Do you guys want to raise your hand if you have a Hummingbird at home? I know a few people have them now. Yeah, so there are lots of people who are using Hummingbird at home, so you can check those, check them out. So the last thing here, I'm going to borrow the mouse for a second. The last thing here is any questions that you guys might have. Make sure to let us know about it. info@birdbraintechnologies.com. And as Aria's mom was mentioning before, how can you share the stuff that your students are making, that your kids are making? I want to show BirdBrain what I made. You can share with us on social media. So on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, you can tag @BirdBrainTech or #HummingbirdKit. And we'll see what you did, and I'll give you a hint. We will probably retweet it because we love elevating what you guys do. So very last thing, if you are interested in mechanisms, be sure to check out that bit.ly link. That's what today was all about, so that you can make your very own mechanisms with Hummingbird at home. So with that, we'll say goodbye to everybody who's on the live stream for now. Let's go to gallery view and let's all wave bye for our very last thing. Everybody wave bye to everybody on the live stream. Bye. See you next time, everybody. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. We can't wait to see what you make on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, you can tag @BirdBrainTech or #HummingbirdKit, or you can even tag me. If you have any questions, be sure to email us info@birdbraintechnologies.com. We can answer questions about purchasing, about learning, about teaching, and about professional development. If you haven't been there yet, be sure to visit our Robotics at Home page. There you can purchase a kit for yourself, learn how to use it, and even join one of our upcoming webinars. Until we see you in class, thanks for watching from everyone at BirdBrain Technologies.